Hello everyone, I am Mohini Mehrotra and I am currently pursuing M.tech ID from IIPS DAVV. This is a video assignment explaining the solution of Test Internal 1 under the guidance of Dr. Shaligram Prajapat sir. First A, I'll be explaining about Shannon ciphers. The Shannon cipher refers to a cryptographic system that use a one-time password encryption technique developed by Claude Shannon in 1940s. In this system, a message is encrypted by XORing it with random key of same length. The key is used only once and never used, hence the name is one-time pad. The one key of properties of one-time pad encryption techniques is that it provides a perfect security, also called as unconditional security. This means that the ciphertext provides no information about plain text regardless of the computational resources available to an attacker. Perfect security is achieved only when the key is used in the encryption and is truly random and has the same length as the message and is used only once. The proof of perfect security for one-time pad encryption is based on the fact that the ciphertext has to be same statistical property as truly random sequence. As a result, an attacker has no way of distinguishing the ciphertext from a random sequence and hence no information about the plain text. Now, first B is Kirchhoff's principle. The Kirchhoff's principle is also called as the principle of open design. It is a principle in cryptography that states that a security cryptographic system should not be dependent on secrecy of the algorithm, but rather on the secrecy of a key. In other words, the security of cryptographic system should rely solely on the strength or the key, not on the obscurity of the algorithm. The modern interpretation of Kirchhoff's principle is that the security of a cryptographic system should not be dependent on the secrecy of the algorithm, but rather on the secrecy of the key. In other words, the security of a cryptographic system should rely solely on the key, which should be kept secret and not on the algorithm of any other part of the system. This means the algorithm should be made publicly and available and subject to security by the cryptographic community to ensure that it is secure. Now, question is distinguish with the effective illustration between threat, vulnerability, and loss. What are the differences between security requirements of the computer-based information system and those of manual system using clerks and filing cabinets? Threat is any potential danger that could exploit the vulnerability and cause harm to system of an organization. It can be an intentional, such as a hacker attempting to break into a network, or unintentional, such as natural disaster that disrupts the business operations. Threats can come from external, internal sources and can be intentional or accidental. Vulnerabilities. A vulnerability is a weakness in a system or an organization that can be exploited to threat to cause harm. Vulnerabilities can arise from software flaws, human errors, or lack of security measures. They can be technical, such as misconfigured server, or technical, such as an employee who unwittingly gives out the sensitive information. Loss. Loss refers to harm or damage caused by threat exploiting the vulnerabilities. Loss can be tangible, such as a theft of a data, or physical assets of intangible, such as damage to reputation, loss, or customer's trust. The severity of loss depends upon the nature of the threat and the vulnerability of the effectiveness of the security measures in place to prevent or mitigate the impact of the attack. The security requirements for computer-based information system and manual system using the clerks and the filing cabinets can differ significantly. Here are some of the differences. First is access control. Computer-based information system can typically require more sophisticated access to control mechanism than manual system. In computer-based system, the access can be restricted to specific users based on their roles or level of authorization. This allows the greater control over the over who can access the physical access sensitive information. In a manual system, an access control is typically limited to physical security measures such as locked filling cabinet or restricted access to a storage area. Data protection. Computer-based information system can typically require more robust protection of measures that manual than manual systems. Data can be encrypted, backed up, and stored off-site and protect against the loss or theft. In contrast, the manual system may rely on the physical security measures such as locked filing cabinets or safes. Audit trail. The computer-based information system typically have more detailed audit trails than the manual system. An audit trail records every action taken on the system, including who accessed what data and when. This helps to detect and prevent the unauthorized access or data breaches. In a manual system. An audit trail is limited to physical records such as logbooks, which may be less and detailed. Disaster recovery. Computer-based information system typically requires more robust disaster recovery plans than the manual system. In the event of disaster, data can be restored from backups and the system can be brought back quickly online. In a manual system, disaster recovery may involve the physical recovery of documents from backup storage. Now the next question is suggest recent malware analysis techniques. The malware analysis techniques are constantly evolving as attackers come up with the new ways to evade detection, and security professionals develop new methods to detect and analyze the malicious code. Here are some of the recent malware analysis techniques. First is dynamic analysis. The dynamic analysis involves the running the malware in a controlled environment, such as virtual machine, to observe its behavior. This can include monitoring uh, network traffic, system calls, and file activity. Recent advancements in the dynamic analysis techniques, including using the machine learning algorithms to detect the malware behavior that is anomalous or characteristics known as malware families. Second is sandboxing. The sandboxing involves running the malware in an isolated environment that is separate from the host operating system. This can provide a safer way to analyze the malware without risking the infection of the host system. Recent advancement in the sandboxing techniques includes the use of hybrid sandboxing, which combines both static and the dynamic analysis techniques to improve the detection rates and reduce false positives. Third is code emulation. The code emulation involves creating a virtual environment that emulates the target system on which the malware is designed to run. This can help to detect the malware that is specifically designed to evade analysis by detecting and avoiding the virtual environments. Recent advancement in code emulation includes the use of advanced hardware level emulation techniques such as Intel's processor trace, ISPT technology, which allows for more detailed analysis for system and instruction flow. What is memory analysis? The memory analysis involves the analyzing the memory of a system or a process to detect and analyze malware. That can be particularly useful for detecting the malware that uses rootkit techniques to hide itself from the traditional detection methods. Recent advancements in the memory analysis technique include the use of patterns, machine learning algorithm to analyze the memory dumps and identify the patterns of behaviors that are that indicates that are indicative of malware. The fifth point is malware clustering. Now the next question is illustrate the public key implementation of Revisit, Shamir and Element with P is equals to 7 and Q is equals to 7. We are given with the values P is equals to 7 and Q is equals to 11. Step 1 we will do P n is equals to P into Q, where n is called as modulus for the encryption of and the data, and we calculate n in P into Q, that is 77. Step 2 is we calculate the value of phi of n, that is P minus 1 into Q minus 1. So we finally get its value as 60. Now let us choose relatively prime E as 7. Thus the public key is E comma n, that is 7 comma 77, and the ciphertext C is equals to me mod n, that is C is equals to 97 mod 77, that is 37. Now in the step 4 the private key is given by D comma n. Now D mod phi n is equals to 1. So 7D mod 60 is equals to 1, which gives the answer as 43. The private key is D comma n, so the final answer is 43 comma 77. Now in step 5 the ciphertext message C is decrypted by using a private key. To calculate the plaintext M from the ciphertext C, following formula is used to get the plaintext. That is M is equals to CD mod N, that is 37, 43 mod 77. Therefore the plaintext value is 9 and the ciphertext value is 37. Now the next question is analyze and comment Data security is maintained by four kinds of controls: access, information flows, inference, and the cryptographic controls acting together they reduce but cannot eliminate the danger of compromise. The statement data security is maintained by four kinds of controls: access, information flow, inference, and cryptographic controls. Acting together, they reduce but cannot eliminate the danger of compromising the highlights. The different types of controls that are used to protect the data and their limitations. The access controls use the limitations who has accessed the data and what they do with it. Information flow controls are used to prevent the data from being leaked or transmitted to unauthorized parties. Inference control are used to prevent the unauthorized deduction of sensitive information from the data. Cryptographic controls are used to protect the data by encrypting it. While these controls can reduce the risk of data compromise, they cannot completely eliminate it. There is always a risk that determined attacker may find a vulnerability in controls or find a way to bypass them. Therefore, it is important to have multiple layers of control in place and to regularly review and update them to new address threats and vulnerabilities. Furthermore, the statement highlight importances of defense-in-depth approach. Security. This approach involves the layering multiple security controls to protect the data from various types of threat. By using a combination of access, information flow, inference, and cryptographic controls, the organization can improve their data secure postures and reduce the risk of compromise. In conclusion, the statement accuracy summarizes the importance of various types of controls in maintaining the data security while also acknowledging their limitations. It highlights the needs of layered approach of data security which is necessary in today's complex threat and landscape. Now, the next question is explain the following scenarios of symmetric key crypto system. If the key is unknown, the cryptanalyst has the three basic methods of attack: ciphertext attack only, known plain text attack, and C is a chosen plain text attack. Since the algorithm is public, so what is your opinion for consideration of key storage, key distribution, and key unpredictability? In symmetric key crypto system, the same key is used for both encryption and decryption of data. If an attacker does not have the knowledge of a key, they can use three basic methods to attack to try and break the encryption. A is ciphertext attack only. In this type of attack, the attacker has only the access to encrypted ciphertext and must analyze in order to try and deduce the key. This type of attack is typically most difficult as the attacker has no additional information to work with. B is known plain text attack. In the known plain text attack, the attacker has the access to both encrypted ciphertext and the corresponding plain text and can be used in this information to try and deduce the key. This type of attack can be effective if the attacker has the enough known plain text ciphertext pair. C is chosen plain text attack. In the chosen plain text attack, the attacker can choose the plain text that is encrypted and observe the resulting cipher by doing the repeatedly with different plain text, and the attacker can gather the information that can be used to deduce the key. Now, in order to maintain the security of symmetric key crypto system, it is important to consider key storage, key distribution, and key unpredictability. Now, with the references to DevOps, what is the professional roles in the security and the trade-offs involved? So the in DevOps, professionals play a critical role in integrating the system into software development and deployment process. DevOps team are responsible for delivering the software at faster pace, which can sometimes result in security being overlooked or deprioritized. Here are some aspects of professional roles in the security of trade-offs involved. First is security testing. DevOps professionals are responsible for ensuring that the software is secure by conducting various types of security testing, including vulnerability assessments, penetration testing, code analysis. However, security testing can slow down the development of the process, can be costly. To balance the need of security and speed delivery, the security testing should be integrated into continuous integration, continuous deployment, that is CI/CD pipeline, and is automated as much as possible. Now, risk assessment. The DevOps professional should also perform a risk assessment to determine the level of security needed for the application or system. This involves the identifying potential threats and vulnerabilities and assessing their likelihood and impact. Risk assessment can help to prioritize security efforts and allocate the resources effectively. However, the risk assessment can also be time consuming and can delay the delivery of software. Now, security architecture. DevOps professionals should design the implement secure architecture for the software system. This involves identifying the security requirements, selecting the appropriate security controls, and integrating them into a system design. However, the designing a secure architecture can be complex and requires significant amount of time and resources. Now, security awareness. The DevOps professional should be also promote security awareness among their colleagues, customers, and other stakeholders. This involves providing training and education on security best practices and encouraging a security focused culture. However, promoting the security awareness can sometimes be challenging and may require a shift of mindset and a culture. In conclusion, DevOps professionals play a crucial role in integrating the system into a software development process, and they must have a balanced need for security with the need of speed delivery. They must be aware of the trade-offs involved in security testing, risk assessment, security architecture, and the security awareness, and make informed decision based on the level of risk and resources available. Thank you.